While I was doing research for this video, I kept finding more and more books that looked so good and were summer themed that were coming out this summer, 2026. So I decided to make multiple categories because they all fit within a category so easily and it just ended up so perfect. Here are the 9 categories that I have. Beach read with 6 books, by the pool with 5, summer sun with 4, camping with 5 books, cowboy with 2, The Ultimate Summer Romance with 4 books, Vacation Gone Wrong with 10 books, Wedding Season with 3, and finally Summer Storm, which is with the last book. So only 1 in this category. So we're starting off strong with the first category being beach read. The first book on the list is The Shampoo Effect by Jenny Jackson, and I was first drawn to this one because of its gorgeous cover. Let's see what it's about. When Caroline Lash arrives in Greenhead, Massachusetts, she falls head over heels for Van Whittaker, a fleece-wearing, litter-collecting, kayak enthusiast with long, floppy hair and the personality of a border collie. It's looking a little summer romancy here. Born and raised in this picturesque coastal village, Van runs with the same crowd he did as a kid. His ex-girlfriend, Bailey, a beautiful girl who attracts men like moth to a flame, Augusta, old money, horsey, and snobbish, and Fran, surrounded by brothers and sons too fed up with boys to ever consider marrying one. Together, the group runs wild through the marshes, beaches, and bars of Greenhead, drinking on houseboats, spending long afternoons sunbathing with their children, and playing games the way they always have. But when Bailey discovers that she is pregnant with Van's baby, the delicate balance of the group's friendship is thrown off. Soon, Caroline is cast out of the circle, and what she does next, in a potent mix of fury and heartbreak, exposes long-held secrets and works the entire town of Greenhead into a lather. The second book, I really had a hard time of deciding whether to put it in the category of beach read or the ultimate summer romance. I ended up deciding to put it in beach read because I have to have a romance in the beach read category, and they're literally laying on the beach in this cover. So that's why I decided to put it in beach read, but it could definitely go in either category. The second book is Summer People by Sally Blakely. 1 week, no drama, and absolutely no dating each other. After graduating college, 5 friends make a pact. Every summer, they'll meet for 1 week at the same beach house on the California coast to relive the golden days of college. There's just one rule: no dating within the group. I'm gonna guess they're gonna break that rule. The next book is called Country Christie. It's a collection of Agatha Christie's short stories, which I just felt was the perfect beach read, just to lay out on a beach and enjoy some good Agatha Christie short stories. Also, there's a beach on the cover, so had to add it into this category. Murder and mystery lurk in the picturesque English countryside in this new collection of Agatha Christie short stories. Then there is Blue Beach by Karen Parsons. 15-year-old Blue Collins' parents own the only black beach in Santa Monica in 1929. She loves spending time there with her handsome friend Ben Clark. It's a quiet spot where they can be alone and where Ben's darker skin won't be judged by onlookers or Blue's own family. During a sunset rendezvous after a summer parade, the pair discovers the body of Dottie Whitehouse, a white debutante. Blue Beach is already threatened by local white property owners. Now their whole community would be at risk. In their panic, Blue and Ben move Dottie's body into the waters of the nearby White Beach. Dottie's body washes ashore, and it isn't long before all eyes are on Ben. Everyone saw how Dottie teased him and how they shared smiles, and their history goes deeper than Blue ever realized. But to save Ben from the outraged white townspeople, she'll need to do whatever she can to dig up the truth and prove his innocence. Ben isn't the only one whose life depends on it. The number 5 is Let's Not Go Overboard by Erica Hendry. This one seems like the ultimate summer romp. Am I using that word right? Romp? Is that like a comedy? Romp. Romp means especially of a child or animal, play roughly and energetically. Okay. I think I'm getting a better definition here because it's not just the first thing that pops up on Google, it's Merriam-Webster. That would probably be a better dictionary. Anyway, the first definition that comes up is high-spirited, carefree, and boisterous play, which, yeah, I think I used the word correctly in that sense. Anyway, back to the story. There are a lot of things that pop culture aficionado Melanie Hoffman is great at, rattling off storylines from The Real Housewives, reciting the Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen filmography from memory, and quoting Gossip Girl like it's The Godfather, to name a few. And then there are the things she's not good at: maintaining a healthy work-life balance, sleeping in general, and being a functioning adult who isn't completely destroyed by the death of her best friend, Ari. Mel has accepted that nothing will ever fill the crater-sized hole that Ari's absence has left behind, and the cork on her grief is stopped tight. But then her company requires Mel to take a mandatory vacation. Cue the explosion. Number 6 is Waist Deep by Linnea Maya Ernst. I don't know how to pronounce that. Sorry. A story about friends, lovers, and friends' lovers. 5 friends from university, 7 summer days in a lake house in Denmark, a chance to swim, catch up, and mess around like old times. Now we're to the second category, which is By the Pool. So By the Pool, I did put books into this category because there was a pool in the cover, but also By the Pool is just a vibe in and of itself. It's an atmosphere, a feeling, a sensation. The water sprinkling as you read a book by the poolside. You take a break when you get too hot to soak in the pool, and then you go back out to open your book again. It's a vibe. I haven't done that yet this summer. I really need to have a by the pool day. The first book in this category, and the 7th book altogether, is Valley of the Moms by Hannah Selinger. Another book I was gravitated to immediately because of how gorgeous the cover is. Stepford Wives meets Big Little Lies in the twisty thriller that uncovers the untruths, petty grievances, and local school politics underneath a seemingly quaint small town. The 8th book is Vera Stein is Fine by Julie Murphy. And if you recognize that name but can't quite pinpoint where, she is the author of Dumplin', Puddin', and Pumpkin. Welcome to Starlight Palms, a favorite retirement facility among Hollywood actors and industry professionals tucked away just outside of sunny Palm Springs. Filled with forgotten scream queens, eccentric screenwriters, and heartthrobs of the past, it has a brand new resident, Vera Stein, age 40. The 9th book is The Dahlia Suite by Karen Jade. In a riveting new novel from the acclaimed author of The Astrology House, 3 women come together to investigate a string of haunting disappearances in a tropical paradise. The 10th book is Unreliable Narrator by Araminta Hall. It's his story, but it's her life. When 23-year-old Hope Jenkins arrives at the isolated otherworldly Shadowlands estate, she's certain her life is finally about to begin. Hope is eager to spend her summer assisting the up-and-coming literary star Ambrose Rosie Glencourt. But at Shadowlands, art and danger blur into one. Rosie and his enigmatic wife, Delia, preside over a circle of glittering guests with morals as questionable as their wealth. Hope is transfixed by their beauty, their brilliance, and by Tom, the elusive young man who resides on the sprawling property and has captured Hope's heart for the very first time. Hope quickly realizes she's willing to do anything to secure her place among them, even if it ends in a fatal disaster. Book 11 is Pool House by Mary H.K. Choi. That one was an easy pick of putting by the pool, since it's called Pool House. Best-selling young adult author Mary H.K. Choi debuts a brilliantly observed adult novel about mothers, daughters, and the complexity of families set against the backdrop of Hollywood. Stevie cannot escape her mother. Abandoning college plans to work a dead-end job, her days are a purgatorial bore. Many dream of moving to LA and into the spotlight, but Stevie can't wait to move away from it and her mother's orbit to start over. We're on to the 3rd category, which is Summer Sun. The 12th book is Girl's Girl by Sonia Feldman. It's a national bestseller, and it's a lustrous debut, a sun-drenched and dewy snapshot of modern girl culture set in the blaze of one suburban Midwest summer. 15-year-old Mina's whole world is her two best friends, but after an unexpected kiss, the established dynamics of their trio quickly unravel. Everything that was once shared openly, from clothes to secrets, now feels impossibly fragile. Loyalties shift and tensions simmer across the long days of this pivotal summer, where the girls have nowhere new to go and everything new to feel. Book 13 is The Future Perfect by K. Kim. I just love how simplistic yet bright and vibrant this cover is. A radiant portrait of a young woman caught between cultures and what is lost and found in the struggle to succeed. Before you are anything, you are a daughter. At first, you are at home inside your pregnant mother, a beloved daughter, a vision of the future, but who will you become? The 14th book is Villa Coco by Andrew Sean Greer. And this book I have been seeing everywhere, and it is so vibrant, so I had to put it in summer sun. Also, she's wearing a hat, so it seems like she's trying to protect herself from the summer sun. Oh, actually, Kate Atkinson said in a quote about this book, "Such a sunny book." So I put it in the right category. An aspiring archivist determined to begin a serious life after an undistinguished undergraduate career takes up residence in the Italian countryside. Here he becomes the all-purpose assistant to the Baronessa, known to her friends as Coco, a defiantly youthful and naturally flamboyant woman of 92. The 15th book is Nymph by Sophia Montrone. Call Me by Your Name meets Elena Ferrante in this debut coming-of-age novel about a young girl who spends summers working at her family's time-worn Italian agriturismo. Oh, 2 books set in Italy in a row. The tragedy that renders her life into before and after, and her romance with an American girl, which has unexpected consequences. She spends her mornings tidying the rooms of her Nonna Tina's time-worn Italian agriturismo, carefully accumulating the curious bits of left-behind detritus from guests. A pearl earring, a lock of hair. Her nights are suffused with gathering the stories that flow from her father's lips, liquor-spun tales of Odysseus and the Trojans in secret battle. But when an accident rips the gentle membrane of Leo's childhood, she is left vulnerable to the pains and pleasures of growing up. Years later, in a sultry summer not unlike the many that came before, the agriturismo is the only thing that remains the same. Now we're on to the 4th category, which is camping, one of my favorite summer activities. Number 16 is We Became Wild by H.D. Carver. 17-year-old Lottie Mitchell is a liar. She might also be a horrible person, because someone good wouldn't have caused the death of her best friend, Val. Messina, Lottie's other best friend, has her own secrets to worry about. She's running from her terrifying, abusive stepfather. When the friends learn that Val had planned to hike the Pacific Crest Trail, they set off into the desert with Val's ashes and her beloved copy of Wild to fulfill her dream. The only problem, aside from being woefully underprepared for the treacherous terrain and the fast approaching fire season, is that without Val playing peacekeeper, Lottie and Messina are at each other's throats. The secrets they carry are heavier than their packs, and they're going to have to find their trust in each other and themselves if they're going to survive. We Became Wild is a gripping, feral story about grief, friendship, and what it means to be a woman alone in the world. Wow. Sounds like an impactful story, and all behind a gorgeous cover. The 17th book is The Last to Drown by Noelle W. Illy. 5 days, 20 strangers, no way out. The rafting trip was supposed to be the adventure of a lifetime, but Kaya's starting to think she made a mistake, because ever since the whispers about Kama's Creek began, all she feels is dread. 7 years earlier, a guide murdered a group of rafters on the same isolated stretch of water. The killer's body was recovered downstream, but the true crime community has never stopped asking questions, and for good reason. The incident starts small, a flipped raft, missing supplies, and screams in the night, but the pattern is sickeningly familiar. And with 84 miles of white water until any sign of civilization, safety has never felt so far away. Kaya suspects that one of the guides is lying. One of the guests knows more than she's saying, and somewhere on this river, someone is planning to finish what started at Camas Creek. The next one is another spooky camping story, and it is called The Breakup Retreat by Camilla Sten. An undercover journalist goes to expose an exclusive psychological wellness clinic where women go to recover from heartbreak, with dire consequences in this creepy thriller from the Bachelorette Party author Camilla Sten. That reminds me of Nellie Bly. She was a journalist, one of the first female journalists. She went into an insane asylum so that she could report on the abuse that occurred there. But basically, she ended up getting stuck there because they wouldn't believe her when she said she was sane, and her boss from the newspaper had to get her out. But yeah, that reminds me of that, and I'm wondering if she's trying to uncover the horrors behind this wellness clinic, then will she get trapped there? I'm guessing so, because it looks like it's supposed to be a spooky story. Summer's Never Over is the 19th book, and that's by Darby Bozeman. In this addictive dual timeline debut novel, a woman confronts her past at the remote southern summer camp where the tragic death of her fellow counselor may not have been an accident after all. So another spooky story about camping. The 20th book is Heather by Caitlin Mullen, and that makes us halfway through. A small town detective reopens an unsolved case, sending shock waves across generations of women in this gripping new mystery from the Edgar Award-winning author of Please See Us. 1990. In the myth-riddled woods of the New Jersey Pine Barrens, 16-year-old Annabelle Riley's twin sister, Sabrina, has been having an affair with a mysterious older man, and Annabelle is determined to uncover what's going on. Then, inexplicably, both sisters disappear. In the same town, years later, newly instated police chief Callie Hauser makes an arrest that unexpectedly resurrects details from a heartbreaking cold case. As she digs deeper, the past and the present collide, challenging everything Callie believes about right and wrong, who she is, and the town she's always called home. We're to the 5th section, which is Cowboy, the 21st book, Love Wells Kept by Bailey Hanna. After an accident erases years of his memory, a man returns to his family's ranch in hopes of piecing back together the life and love he thought he had lost forever. The 22nd is Trouble Brewing by Walker Rose. And the little quote on the front cover is, "When a country girl meets a city boy." Oh, that's actually interesting, because usually it's the opposite in these cowboy romances. Welcome to Scandal, North Dakota, where loyalty... Wait, I want to know if that's a real place. Scandal, North Dakota. No, I don't want to know about scandals in North Dakota. I want to know if it's a town. Name. Well, it's not showing anything, so I'm guessing it's not a real town name. It's made up. That would be a cool town name, though. Scandal. I mean, honestly, I believed it for a second, because there are some weird town names out there. Just do a little Googling. You'll find some weird things. Welcome to Scandal, North Dakota, where loyalty runs deep and rivalries never die, especially between a country girl and a city boy who's forgotten his roots. So I guess the city boy used to be a country boy. That makes sense. Is why he got a cowboy hat on in the cover, because he's returning to his roots. Now we're to the 6th category, which is the ultimate summer romance. And the 23rd book is Love You More by Emily Giffen. Just look at this cover for a second. Can we just admire it? It's so pretty. So pretty. A woman is newly engaged to a man she adores when she receives a call from her first love with news that shatters her carefully ordered world in this emotionally powerful novel from the #1 New York Times bestselling author of The Summer Pact. Ooh, The Summer Pact. She's an author who obviously likes to write summer romances, so she's well versed in the summer romance. The 24th book is another book that we just need to like take in how gorgeous the cover is just for a second. It is called Star-Crossed Summer by Devin Daniels. When a Hollywood starlet is unexpectedly reunited with the co-star who broke her heart, their chemistry has her questioning what's real in this heartfelt summer romance about first loves and second chances. The 25th book is Scandal of the Summer by Alexandra Basti. A desperate debutante meets a ragtag smuggler in the sexy Regency romp by USA Today bestselling author Alexandra Basti. Eccentric heiress Lady Ruby Ballimore has had enough of the marriage mart. After offending yet another very important marquise and imperiling her father's diplomatic career, Ruby flees London for the holiday house of a glamorous and better yet absent princess. Armed with a forged invitation and accompanied by her like-minded friends, Ruby arrives at the Cornwall estate expecting a summer of blissful freedom. Instead, she discovers a derelict mansion and the most suspiciously charming man she's ever met. This author I read Earl Crush by, and she is very good at making a historical romance very lighthearted and comedic. So if you're wanting some of that vibes, I recommend Scandal of the Summer. The 26th book is The Summer Girlfriend by Christina Forrest. How are these books just so pretty? Who is designing these? I need to know immediately because I want to be an author and I need them to design my books. Anyway, this is The Summer Girlfriend by Christina Forrest. A fake summer fling between a stand-in girlfriend and a handsome business heir becomes way too real in this glittering new romance by USA Today bestselling author Christina Forrest. Now we are to the 7th category, which is the largest category, having 10 books. Vacation Gone Wrong. The Last Time We Drowned by Saratoga Schaefer is the 27th book. The Last Time We Drowned, a razor-sharp, atmospheric, and impossible-to-put-down locked-room psychological thriller where luxury curdles into terror and survival comes at the highest price. 6 influencers, 1 luxury yacht, nowhere to hide. The 28th is Lies Between Us by Jessica Goodman. And the little quote on the cover is, "Every sister has a secret." I have a sister. What's her secret? Wait, I am a sister. What's my secret? Anyway, do you ever really know the people you love? For the Gold sisters and Silver brothers, life has been idyllic. Growing up in side-by-side waterfront mansions in a town where doors are never locked and the police do little more than issue speeding tickets, the Golds and Silvers have known each other their entire lives as neighbors, as friends, as family. I feel like my phone died. So I'm recording this quite a few hours later, but let's keep going. Where was I? Lies Between Us. I think I already talked about that one. And oh yeah, it was about the Gold sisters and the Silver brothers, which I think what I was saying right when my phone died was that seems like a weird coincidence that 2 people who grew up right next to each other, one of them, their last name is Gold and the other is Silver, but I'm sure it explains that in the book. Hopefully, anyway. And now we're to the 3rd book in that category, which is the 29th book in this video. It's called The Last Time We Saw Her by Jacqueline Goldiz. 10 years ago, a teenage summer camper disappeared while searching for a rumored treasure on a remote island. Now, the long-buried truth of what happened to her and the long-lost gold threatens the lives of her friends in this thriller from the critically acclaimed author of The Chateau. The 30th book is The Woman in the Villa by Helen Cooper. The quote on this cover is "The perfect holiday or the perfect nightmare," which makes it the absolute perfect book for the category of vacation gone wrong. The 31st book is Everything to the Sea by Alicia Upano. This cover is gorgeous. This one I kind of wanted to do as a beach read, but then I read the summary and I had to change it because it fit perfectly in the vacation gone run category. So let's see why. Part riveting love story, part coming of age tale. Everything to the Sea is a breathtaking debut novel spanning years and shores after a sudden tsunami devastates the island of Hawaii and cuts short a young couple's budding romance, a deeply moving testament to the catastrophes love can endure. So that's why I wanted to put it in the Vacation Gone Wrong category, because I thought it was a fun idea to have something that wasn't really a thriller. It was more of a natural disaster is what caused the vacation to go wrong, which is a bit different than some of the other books I have in the category. The 32nd book is one I'm super excited for because it's by Gillian McAllister, who wrote Wrong Place, Wrong Time, which I loved that book. So I am very excited for her to come out with That Night, which is a thriller, and it's actually already out as a Netflix show. It was written before it became the show, but it's just now becoming published as a book. So if you love some good television adaptations, you can check it out on Netflix. And the book will be out August 18. It's a bit of a weird circumstance. Usually books come out first, but I guess the plot was good enough to make a television series before it was even published. I haven't watched the show, but when the book comes out, I think I'll have to read that and then watch the show. So we'll see how much they change and if it's good or not. Good changes or not. And the little quote on the cover is, "Life can change or end in an instant." From the author of Reese's book club pick and New York Times bestseller Wrong Place, Wrong Time comes an electrifying thriller about three siblings torn apart by the cover-up of a death while on a family vacation in Italy. Oh, yeah, so it actually fits perfectly within this category. On vacation in Europe, Franny makes two urgent phone calls, one to her sister and one to her brother. The siblings come running and they find their sister covered in blood, kneeling over an unmoving body. There's been an accident. Franny has hit a man with her car and she needs their help. They bury the body and they make a promise. They'll never tell anyone. But when the police come calling, siblings' lies start to spiral. They begin to doubt their trust in each other because what really happened that night? And who will be the first to crack? With the incredible twists and turns and a unique look at family relationships that McAllister has become known for, That Night is the ultimate summer thriller that asks, what would you do to protect your family? It's giving very similar vibes to Wrong Place, Wrong Time. So I'm very excited for that one. All right, here is another cover that I absolutely adore. It is the 33rd book in this list, and it is called One of the Family by Mark Edwards. The author of The Wasp Trap returns with a novel best described as Succession, set in the Scottish Highlands, where a plot to murder the patriarch's younger fiancé entangles an innocent outsider in a nest of deadly secrets. A Week in Paradise with the Family from Hell. The 34th book is The House Guest by Jennifer Hashley. I love how the knife looks like it's cutting from within the book through the cover. It's such an artistic design. Love it. Very creative. An aspiring chef finds she has bitten off more than she can chew when her gig as a private cook to a best-selling author turns deadly. Third time's the charm, right? I'm crossing my fingers. I hope so. I want to get done with this video so that I can upload it for you guys while there is a little grasp of summer left. But the 6 that are left, I did not want you guys to miss out on. So I'm re-recording it. Yes, re-recording, because for some reason, the last 6 books, the footage where I'm talking about them just disappeared. Don't know how, don't know why. I remember turning off the camera and the video ending, and a very long time later when I went to edit, because so many things have happened since then, it was just gone. So I talked about 36 of the books and I got to the end of talking about the 36th book and then it just cuts off. So I did talk about them, but that's gone. So now I'm here talking about them a very long time later because, as I said, so many things happened in between then. I went to visit my sister and I have a full-time job. So then the next weekend I had to go home because my childhood dog was not doing well and he passed away. So I had to say goodbye to him, and we actually put together all of our photos. His name was Chico. We adopted him 15 years ago. Oh, I miss him. He's such a sweetie pie. He's my baby. So yeah, that was pretty hard on me. We put together a book of a whole bunch of photos of him. And there's this little photo. It is AI. Don't love AI, but I will accept it in this case just because it has my baby's face on it. Anyway, then the next weekend after that, I actually had a family vacation. There was that for a week. And then the weekend after that, I was going to visit my sister again. And after that is now. So earlier today, I missed a big one. Actually, during vacation, my boyfriend proposed to me. So he is now my fiance, the guy that you sometimes see in my videos who also reads books. Yeah, he's now my fiance. So that's exciting. Today we saw some venues. We went to a county fair and then we got groceries. I also needed an oil change. So we went to Walmart to get an oil change and groceries at the same time. And now I'm finally back here and I'm going to get this video done. But first, I kind of want to show you some of the things I got at Walmart that were not groceries, because got a lot of those and those cost a lot, especially adding on the oil change. It hurt a little, but I got some inexpensive things that were just for me. So first, in the clearance section, I got these adorable little mugs. This purple color is my favorite shade of purple, and purple is my favorite color if you don't know that already. And I love this shade of, like, I don't know if it's maroon or merlot, what shade you'd call that, but I absolutely adore that one. And it stacks. It stacks so nice. They're so cute. I'm so excited. But there are 4 each, so I guess $8. That was the more expensive of the treating me things, but I'm happy. I love coffee. I love coffee mugs. Don't judge me. I do have way too many. That's why I said don't judge me. But then, of course, it's back to school season already. Where did the summer go? So there was stationery for back to school. And I had to look through it because am I going back to school? No. But do I love stationery? Yes. Another thing I have way too much of. I found these horrible Sharpies that were just the cutest pastel colors. And I was like, you know what would make these perfect? Because those were those bigger Sharpies, like school Sharpies, if they were in the skinny size. And then I found them in the skinny size, so I had to get them. And that was $2.44, so not too bad. I figured I would do that for myself because do I have enough Sharpies? Yes, I have an abundance of Sharpies, but I'm really wanting to get more into color coding my journals because I do journal on a regular basis, but I want to be more organized with it and color code now. So these Sharpies will help, and also the colors are just absolutely stunning. I love these pastels, and they match the other thing I got, which is this little tiny pocketbook planner for 2026 and 2028. It's just like a little tiny calendar. This was only $1.44, so I said, what the heck, I'll use it. And it's so adorable. I love the orange and the little purple flowers. And I tested it just to make sure it does fit. I don't know if you can see this, but it fits in my pocket. So it is literally a little pocketbook that I will just shove this in a pocket and carry it around. I'll show you a little bit of what it looks like. Here's a month. This is a purple one. It's mostly just like this from 2026 through I think June of 2028. And then at the way back, there's a couple pages like this where there's notes. I'm excited to use those. Back to actually finishing this video. We were in the largest category of these summer books, which is Vacation Gone Wrong. And we only had 2 books left of the 10 in this category. First, there is Don't Look Away by Daniel Kennitz. From the author of The Perfect Home comes a harrowing domestic crime thriller where a former defense attorney is forced out of retirement to defend her husband, now the prime suspect in the serial murder case terrorizing Florida's Gulf Coast. The last book in the Vacation Gone Wrong category is Our Perfect Holiday, which is just the perfect title for this category. category, and it is by Daniel Hurst. It was the perfect trip until it ended in murder. I stand on the balcony with my gorgeous husband, Ruben, by my side. My family have returned to this beautiful French hotel to celebrate my mother's 70th birthday. The sun is shining and everything seems perfect. It's paradise, but I feel like I'm trapped. Because 20 years ago, someone was killed in the glittering swimming pool. I watch as my children run around excitedly, my parents sipped cocktails, and my brother throws his head back as he laughs. But a shiver runs down my spine because I know what really happened all those years ago. I have to smile and lie to my family because of the secrets I'm keeping. Then I receive a text message, and the words turn my heart to ice. You should never have come back. And now we're finally to the wedding season category. The 37th book and the first of 3 books in this category is We Are Gathered Here Today by Bobby Finger. The Wedding People, that's the book I'm reading right now actually, meets the Celebrants in this hilarious and profound novel about a recently engaged gay man second-guessing marriage and his cousin's chaotic Texas wedding weekend with old friends and unexpected strangers that will help guide him to the truth. The 38th book is For the Bride, and this cover is just stunning. Love it. Very, very much summer wedding vibes. On the surface, Alice has her life together. She's got a job in music she loves, she's firmly sober, and she's grateful to be back in the good graces of her ex-girlfriend, once best friend, now literal only friend, Jen. Just in time, too, because Jen's getting married this summer, and Alice gets to be a bridesmaid. If only the maid of honor wasn't Renee Roberts. Type A, the opposite of her in every way, and a long-time Alice hater who's clung to her animosity like a leech. Every second Alice spends around Renee makes her feel like who she used to be, rather than the person she spent years trying to make herself into. And she doesn't want to be reminded of her younger self any more than she wants to be thinking more constantly than she wants to admit about Renee, her hair, her lips, her wit. The last book in the wedding season category in the penultimate book of this list is The Wedding Week by Aisha Saeed. Long buried secrets resurface when a woman returns home for her sister's lavish resort wedding in the Everglades, where gossiping aunties and Burmese pythons aren't the only threats in this suspense novel. The last category is Summer Storm, and that also brings us to the last book, which is In Stormy Weather by Chelsea Curto, because a good romance has always got to have some stormy moments. Nothing can rain on Quincy Monroe's parade. She's a woman in STEM with a PhD in atmospheric sciences, the host of a successful online weather show, and has 1 million followers on her meteorology Instagram. Quincy has spent endless hours forging her path in this male-dominated field, becoming one of the best in the industry, and with a new job opportunity, nothing can derail her success, except for the ill-timed arrival of Sebastian Dunn. Sebastian is her best friend's brother, her long-time academic and professional rival, and a flashy TV weatherman from New York City that everyone swoons over. Everyone but Quincy. Over a scorching Florida summer and a record-breaking hurricane season, Sebastian and Quincy are forced into close proximity. Setting aside their grudges to chase storms and stay alive is one thing, but can they weather the inevitable collision of their hearts? You'll have to read it to see. That's all I got for you. This is an exciting amount of beachy, summery, cozy, but some heart-wrenching, some terrifying, some mysterious, a whole lot of summer reads that are coming out this summer, most of which have already now, since it's been a while, come out. So just go on over to the store and buy them now. Or if you don't want to physically get up from wherever you are, hopefully comfy, enjoying this video, then I have linked them all in the description. So click the link and it will lead you to all of the books. But anyway, if you liked the video, like the video. If you want to see more, subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye!